are we on with it? Hi. First I need to turn on this volume. What is making this noise? Whatever it is. Okay. We're good there. So I found pretty interesting comments today. A lot of questions I got were on the lines of and pardon me for the dressing, this is a little ethnic. It's a South Indian mundu and a shirt. Rest is the usual. So I'd recently tweeted along a theory of no failure is equal to nothing new, is equal to unimportant, is equal to avoidable. How does that make it believable? You know, so I think planning is just an illusion. You know, it's an illusion of knowing the future, which I don't think anyone practically does. So the authenticity of it is yet to be tried. I'd read a few very good study-based quotes. Now, this is not creative literature, as you might get to hear very often. It's important to love to make mistakes, because it's a high to look back at things you tried knowing the probability of failure. Now how does this matter? Failure is a very undesired word, but the problem is majority of people who make an impact on this planet, as you must have observed already, if you haven't, they are the ones who are usually discouraged by majority society, saying that, you know, this thing may not succeed. I'll get you an example. It's like if you were to walk up to your grandmother stating that, and I'm talking about 10 or 15 years ago, if you were to walk up to your grandparents saying that they might need to use a computer 15 years down the line, you might be laughed off the room. I mean, you know what I'm talking about, because they could not even picture it. So if you're the only mind who thinks a certain way, it does not mean that you are setting yourself up for failure. It just means that you're probably ahead of times, you know. So and taking risks. This was another segment sent to me by Josh. Why to welcome risks? I think risks are to be welcomed because the higher the stakes, the better the returns, you know. The higher your victory or failures will lie. If you fail, well, people will learn something of it, right? So what's bad with that? Well, studies say, and I'm serious, we need to be unreasonably aggressive and passionate to succeed. You know, it may take a while for you to get going, especially with new ventures that you try, especially with new ideas that you try to throw across the table. You might be thrown off the room. You know, there might be a few experts. I hate them usually. Experts are the people who are too mundane. They're too programmed to think a certain way. They've been doing something for decades altogether. Now they are limiting you. You know, so they always tell you what not to try, because when they tried it, they possibly failed at it. It does not mean that when you try it, you may have the same outcome, because your entire way of doing things will be unique. And it's very significant for you to believe in that prospect more than anybody else, you know. Also, I'd like to link it to satisfaction. The reason I'm reading this is because these are very deep, detailed thoughts. It's good to be irrational, I guess. You know, when you're irrational, you truly are thinking out of the box. Now, it does not mean always that you're thinking unscientific. You may be thinking of a science that does not exist in those times. Can you imagine the person who probably invented the aircraft? You know, till then, I don't think it was possible for someone to imagine for an object to ride the air. So frankly, without two thoughts, thanks to my descent, I get to keep meeting a lot of people who've been to B schools like Stanford, ISB, engineering colleges like REC, IIT. But is that the edge of things? I mean, could you never do something that someone amongst them probably did not achieve? Well, you have enough examples. You know, you might want to look up at people who did not depend or rely on education as their pedestal to grow. A is the basic genetic requirement to be a dreamer, because the bounds of your dreams is what bind you through your life. If you're only going to play the safe game throughout your life, you're bound to keep doing it because your biggest goal is existence. And I don't think you realize dreams in that spectrum. You have to break off it. You have to be beyond that, so that you can invest time in what sounds irrational, unreasonable, non-productive, too much risk against benefit. There will be a stage where you might sound very unscientific to yourself. The whole game is about turning it a little scientific, isn't it? It's about making it possible. Otherwise, what is potential for? I hope there are more people who take risks in the field of business, in the field of learning, in the field of sport. You have to breach the boundary once. You have to be mad about something so that new paradigm is set. You know, that is revolution. Every time a human being, I suppose, every time a human being broke a rule and behaved irrational, achieved a new edge, is where evolution began. So think of 2 decades before our times, and you will see a lot of changes that have come in, and now they are part of our usual life. We did not even have preservatives being used for fluids, you know. So somebody thought it, someone conceptualized it, someone worked through it. And very often we think that these people were highly educated or remarkably talented. Probably they were just crazy about what they wanted to achieve, you know. And that is a very important aspect of the entire equation. I guess if you are crazy about what you want to achieve, 9 on 10 times you should be able to achieve it. If not always. And you have to be ready to fail. If the goal of your life is to be known as a good guy, taking risks is not your cake. You know, leave it to somebody else who has more courage and is ready to be known as the loser. Being known as a loser will not turn you a loser, not even trying. So if you check with someone like me, if you're not someone who is risk-bearing or trying something new, going against what the norm is, then you are a loser. If you try it and lose in the game, at least you tried. So there'll be many like me, you know, and you, all these people who are asking me questions of, I'm sure they are not regular people, because regular people don't even read up my posts. It's as simple as that, and I can't care a damn to advise them. You know, so try harder things, be rational, listen to what your mind says. If it's an intelligent brain, pay attention to it. Don't keep listening to emotional songs and waste your time. Talk to yourself. Don't go with the flow. Just because someone prudent around you, someone who's proven to be intelligent, tells you that this is too much risk, we don't want you there, don't stop yourself. Try it. 95% you may fail, but 5% if you succeed. If you're passionate about that, then it's worth calling it a dream. Otherwise it's not even worth, it does not deserve that word. It's not passion yet. Thank you.